So this is what my current social life looks like. I've had the most amount of friends that I've had within my entire life. This year I've built up the confidence and social confidence to join a bunch of clubs, meet a bunch of people. But most importantly, throughout many years I've built the social confidence to be able to take control of my life. And I'm not telling you all this to show off or brag. I'm definitely not the most extroverted guy out there ever. But I'm telling you this because once upon a time, and 6 years ago, I was known as that kid in school who never spoke and was extremely quiet and shy. And this really started to ruin my life. There's so many people that I could have met. There's so many conversations that went awkward. I had no idea how to talk to people. And I knew that I had to improve this somehow. So throughout experiencing the problems of not knowing what to say, being just so unconfident, I started doing a bunch of research. I started changing my life. I started looking into charisma lines, what lines work the best, how do you deal with certain social situations. Throughout all those years of research, I'm going to give you one line, a prompt line that you can use in order to get out of any awkward situation. A line that's going to make any awkward social conversation less awkward, de escalating the awkwardness. And this line is, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make that awkward." And then your purpose, your intention. Okay. Now you might be confused. Oh, why would I address the awkwardness? I don't want them to think I'm awkward. What do you mean about the purpose line? What's the purpose of that? I'm going to explain all of this. Okay. So, being in an awkward conversation, it's inevitable. Everybody's going to get in one. When you're in an awkward social situation, this can look like getting in somebody's way, bumping into someone, you asking somebody a question and they take it the wrong way. They might give you a little face or whatever. They're like, why did you ask that? So it's inevitable. Okay. You are most likely going to experience one soon. Okay. But in order to de escalate this and to make it funny, you, interesting enough, want to address the awkwardness as much as you can. And you might be thinking, oh, why would I say the situation's awkward? I don't want them to think it's awkward. Here's the thing, when you address the awkwardness to someone and give your true intention, it gives them, well, it's going to give them your true intention of what you wanted. And when you claim the awkwardness, when you say, oh, this is awkward as heck, they're going to be like, oh, why? It kind of was, it's kind of funny. And they're going to be like, oh, wow, he's confident. He wasn't shy to admit that this is awkward. So it's kind of funny. I'm going to give you a social story and proof of an example on how I know this works. Throughout the many years that I've been trying to practice, charisma, talking to people, confidence, I watch lots of day game. Okay, so these charisma coaches who would go up to random people, and there was this one dating coach that I saw. His name was Eric Ronaldo, and what he did basically was go to as many girls as he could at universities in the United States, and he would try to get their numbers. Okay, and I remember one of the times he tried to get this girl's number. He approached her, he introduced himself, and then here comes the time where he's like, "I thought you were extremely attractive. Are you single by any chance?" And the girl was like, "No, I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend." And he's like, "Oh, no problem. Does your boyfriend let you have friends? I'm just trying to meet new people. I just trying to make some friends. I'm new here." And the girl was like, "Oh no, like sorry, he doesn't allow me to have friends." So as a viewer, and for Eric especially, you can tell that the girl doesn't want anything to do with him. She has a boyfriend, she's taken. She doesn't want anything to do with him. But instead of Eric Ronaldo just walking away saying, "Okay, have a good day," he does something interesting. He says, "Oh, okay, that's no problem. Well, I'm gonna go awkwardly walk away now and cry. But I hope you guys have fun. Have a good day." And when he addressed the awkwardness, the girl that he asked was with somebody else, and they both started laughing. Both girls started laughing. And then I realized when you address the awkwardness, it makes it funny because it's just like, yeah, it is awkward. He's not getting anything in the situation, but he's not afraid to say it. He's not afraid to say he got awkward or he just took it out. He accepts it. So he says it. He says he's gonna awkwardly cry away now, and that's what he does. And it's funny at the same time. Now, keep this in mind. Tone is extremely important in this situation. Imagine Eric Ronaldo in this situation again, right? He gets rejected. The girl doesn't want anything to do with him. He realizes that. Imagine if he says it like this: "Oh, I'm going to go awkwardly cry away now. Bye. Have a good day. Hope you guys have fun." That's kind of just like, oh, that's even worse, right? But if you take your tone and be like, "Oh, no problem," like, "Well, I'm gonna go awkwardly cry right now. Um, have a good day. Like, hope you guys have fun." It's funny. So tone is extremely important. Now I'm gonna tell you how to apply this in your social situations. So next time you're in a social situation, let's say you bump into someone. It's kind of awkward. You're like, "Oh, sorry." Instead of just saying sorry and walking away, be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make that scary awkward. I just want to make sure I didn't hit you. Wasn't trying to hit you." So you have your sense of sorry, didn't mean to make that awkward, which is, that's the line itself. And then you have your intention. So that's, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to make that awkward. I wasn't trying to run you over. I didn't want to hurt you." This, you're addressing the awkwardness. And then the second line, you are basically saying your intention. You didn't want to run them over. Second example, let's say you're asking someone a question and they get a little awkward. They get a little uncomfortable. For example, let's say you're meeting someone and you're like, "Oh, where do you live? What side of town are you on?" And they're just kind of like, "Oh, I live on the east side." But they're kind of giving you a weird face. They're like, "Oh, why did he ask me? That's weird." When you see that, and you should read that, when you see that they're awkward, they're kind of like nervous or freaked out, be like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to make that awkward or anything. Like, I just want to know what side of town you live on, just out of curiosity, because most of my friends, they live on the north side, but you live on the east side. That's interesting." And when you address this awkwardness, they'll be like, "Oh no, you're fine. Like, yeah, I just want to know. I just didn't know what you were asking for." So when you address the awkwardness, you again are saying, "Hey, this was awkward, but I'm not afraid to say it." And then you rephrase your intention. Get what you want out of the conversation. So use those in your conversations, de escalate the awkwardness, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.